Good morning and welcome to this yoga. I call it First Light Yoga because it's a really nice practice for first thing in the morning. Although you can do it any time of the day, I'm really gearing it towards that morning. And you can also follow this class up with the next class, the evening class, for a full hour. But I've separated them into two separate morning and evening classes, one for uplifting and waking up, and one for winding down and releasing the day. So find a seat, whatever that looks like for you, and let your hands rest comfortably on knees, shins, or in your lap. And just let your eyes close. So if you are practicing this class first thing in the morning, perhaps you're even fortunate enough to be facing an east window and actually seeing the sunrise. And if not, we can just bring that up in our mind's eye. And so this is our first opportunity of the day to attune your awareness to the sensations of being in your body. So just tune into that feeling of having a body. What is the tone of your body right now? Do you feel some heaviness from sleep, or do you feel well rested? Do you feel tension or openness? Just tune into whatever is happening for you right now in this body that you are residing. And then bring your awareness to the sensation of breathing, which is a very quick way for us to ground in our body. Just feeling the ebb and flow, the rise and fall of the belly, without efforting, but just being aware. And then attune even more to the feeling of being in your body and the feeling of your breath. Feel into the feet, the shins, the thighs, the position of your pelvis resting on the earth, your spine rising up out of your pelvis, your chest lifting towards that rising sun, and your chin drawing back ever so slightly. And now feel the whole body as one composition of sensations. And the breath right inside of that. Relax the face, the temples, the jaw. And just sit with all of those sensations and the breath for just another minute before we move into our physical practice. Ebb and flow of the breath. That slight movement of the rise and fall with each inhale and exhale. All your body sensations. And then you can slowly let your eyes open. And if you're sitting cross-legged, come into Vajrasana, sitting on a block or sitting on your heels. I forgot to bring my blocks out to the teepee, so I'm going to use my meditation bench and hope that works. So we're just going to start with our breath. And we're going to imagine as we inhale and reach our arms up that it's like the rising sun Slowly lifting and rising to the sky. And then exhale, release back down to the earth. And we're just going to do that a few times. Nice slow breath. Your eyes can be open or closed. Inhaling, reaching up. Imagining that sun just peeking above the horizon and rising up to shed warmth and light on us. And exhale, release it down. Let's do that 3 more times. Just moving with our breath and using your Ujjayi breath here, the warming breath that begins to infuse the whole body and all the cells with this warmth of your sun breath, creating that restriction and that flow of the breath across the floor of the nasal cavity. And as we exhale to earth, we have 1 more of these rising sun breaths. Inhaling, the arms rise like the sun, the heart lifts, and maybe your gaze also lifts. And then exhale, bring it back down. And now you can come off of your blocks. We're just going to go through a few rounds of cat-cow. Just working the breath, that Ujjayi breath, to begin to enliven the body. Warm the body. Let the head spill as you exhale and press the earth away. And draw your heart forward as though there's a sun in your heart just at that horizon getting ready to rise. And exhale. Sorry about my background sound effects here. Let's do 1 more round. And exhale completely. And then on this next round, we're going to use our exhale of cat pose to curl our toes under and exhale into downward facing dog. Connecting to the earth and beginning to feel that warmth from our Ujjayi breath, beginning to awaken the body. Taking 1 inhale and using your exhale breath to come to the top of your mat. Feet can be hip width here. And as you exhale, bow down, draw the belly in. Bring your hands to the back of the calves and bend your knees as much as you need to in order for that to happen. And then bend your knees even deeper. And as you inhale, like that rising sun, reach up, lift the heart, send the sit bones back. And then press into the earth, rise up, and exhale to your heart center. So let's move through some slow sun salutations with some variations. Just beginning to warm the body and awaken and enliven. So we inhale, reaching up to the sky. And as we exhale, bowing to the earth. And inhale, let the heart float up. And as we exhale, step the right foot to the back of your mat. Your hands can be on blocks or fingertips to your mat. So we're in that familiar lunge position where the front thigh presses down and the back thigh presses up. Inhale the heart forward towards the horizon. And exhale to the long side of your mat. So we're in Prasarita, or a forward fold, wide-legged forward fold. And then exhale and fold all the way down. Slight little bend in the back of your knees. We begin to open through the back of the legs. And then inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, come back to your lunge position. And then keeping the legs exactly where they are. Reach the arms behind you in a runner's lunge. So lots of strength and warmth from those strong foundation of the legs. And then as we inhale, we rise, coming into our crescent lunge. Now a couple of options here. You can keep your arms shoulder width apart, or bring your hands together and bend at the elbows. The hands reach behind you And use the elbows to lift, lift the heart a little bit more. So keep lifting the elbows up. Front knee stays bent. It's like our heart is rising up like the sun, the light shining from your heart. Take one more breath here. And then use your next exhale to bring hands through heart center and twist to your left. So you might have your hands at heart center in your twist, or you might have left hand to your hip, right forearm to your front knee, and twisting to your left. Take one more breath here. And then release. Both hands come down. Step back. Downward facing dog. Let's inhale, come forward to plank pose, and just spend a breath here with that warming energy. And then exhale, knees, chin, chest. If it's morning, we want to let the body warm up slowly. Inhale, rise up into your cobra. And exhale, release. Take an inhale, exhale back. Child's pose. Inhale, rise, find your downward facing dog. And let's float the right leg to the sky in three-legged dog. Float it up slow like that rising sun. And then as you exhale, step it up between your hands. So we're coming into our lunge on our second side. Heart reaches forward towards the horizon. The back heel presses back. Take one more breath here. And then rotate to the long side of your mat, this time over to the left side of your mat. And exhale, folding forward. Take any hand position that feels right for you, even if that's shins, toes, hips, whatever feels right at this point in your day. And let every exhale allow you to release from the sit bones down a little bit more. Inhale, halfway lift. As we exhale, we rotate back to the top of your mat in your lunge. And then keeping the low body exactly where it is, just bring the arms up parallel to the sides of the body. In our runner's lunge, lots of strength and warmth here. And then inhale, rise up, crescent moon. And again, same options. You can keep your arms wide or bring the hands together, bend at the elbows, and reach up through the elbows to lift the heart. Lift that sun that you have within your heart, but keep those front ribs contained even though you're lifting the heart. Take one more breath here. And then we draw the hands through heart center and we're twisting to our right. Again, same options. You can have your left forearm to the knee or hands at heart center as you twist. Some of you might even want to open your arms. If it's first thing in the morning, you might want to stay at one of the first two variations. Take one more breath here. And then use an exhale to release the hands down. Step forward this time. Left foot meets right. Inhale, lift the heart. Exhale, bow down. Bring your hands to the back of the calves. Bend your knees deeply. And then inhale, reach up to the sky. Create that action of spreading your feet apart here. So the heart is lifting, rising like the sun, even though we're grounded through our low body. And then inhale, press and rise all the way up, circle around. Come to your heart center on an exhale. Take another breath, inhaling and exhaling in your mountain pose. Sorry, I'm just checking my time. And then let's do one more sun salutation. We are greeting the sun after all, so let's slowly inhale, reach up. And maybe this time we intertwine our fingers and press our palms up and lift and invite a little back bend. And then as you exhale, folding forward, bowing to the earth, honoring the earth. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, the left foot steps to the back of the mat. And let's rise up into our runner's lunge here. So arms, the side of the body. Strengthen both those legs, and then inhale, rise up, crescent. Bending at the elbows, lifting through the elbows as though you're trying to touch the sky with your elbows. And then let's exhale, come into our twist. Take whichever variation the body is ready for this time around. And then hands down to the mat on an exhale. Step back plank pose this time. Let's let that sun in our belly, that fire in our solar plexus warm us like the warming sun. And then exhale to lower. Knees, chin, chest, or chaturanga. Inhale, lengthen the legs and rise in your cobra. Exhale, release. Inhale and exhale back, downward facing dog. Let's inhale, left leg to the sky, three-legged dog. Exhale, step it up between your hands. So we're starting in our lunge. Find your balance. We're up on the back toes. Send the arms back behind you. Reach through the crown, long from the tail to the crown. And then inhale, rise into your crescent moon, taking your hand position of the day, of the morning. Perhaps you're doing the hands behind your head in prayer as you lift the elbows and lift the heart. And then as we exhale, we draw through heart center and take your twist to the left. Any of those three hand positions that we discussed on the first round is appropriate here. Take one more breath. And then exhale, the hands come down. We're stepping right foot to the top of the mat to meet your left. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, we bow. Grab the back of your calves, bend the knees, tail comes down, and then inhale, circle the arms up. Heart rises like the sun as we ground down through the feet and legs. Rise like the sun, circle it around, heart center. Let's just take a breath with our grounding here, with our mountain pose, finding our strength and our connection to the earth. And we're simply going to move into a tree pose and connect with the imagery of nature. So we're going to start with the left foot. And you might have hands at heart center, or you might start with your hands on your hips. Excuse me. So bending, externally rotating, and finding where your foot is going to be this morning. It might be on your ankle, your shin, or the inner thigh. And you might stay at heart center. You might reach up to the sky. And if you're feeling particularly balanced this morning, you could look up. Whoops. Obviously, I'm not doing that today. But just find your spot to gaze, whether it's straight ahead to the horizon or slightly lifted. Maybe your sun has lifted a little bit more. Take one more breath. And then as we release gracefully out of our tree, we're going to immediately sit down in chair pose. Bring your hands to your heart center, and we're twisting to our right, to the same side where you had your bent knee. And again, you have options. Forearms to both knees, keeping those knees in line with one another as we twist to the right. Left elbow to the outer right knee, and just check that that knee's not popping back, or even opening the arms. And then coming back to center, let's rise, come into our mountain pose. And take a moment to ground into that right foot as we move into tree pose on our second side. So left foot externally rotates, hands can be on hips or at heart center. Maybe it's shin today, maybe it's thigh. Just not being able to ground in my balance poses today. I hope you're doing better than me today. Need my ankle supports. So if you choose to grow your tree, go ahead and do so. Maybe lifting your gaze or gazing at the horizon. If you're lucky enough to be watching the sunrise, you might be gazing at the horizon. And then as we prepare to release, we're going to sit down in our chair, draw the hands through heart center, and twist to your left. Again, taking any of those three options. Making sure those knees stay in alignment. And creating that action as though you're sliding your feet apart. To really engage through the legs. Take one more breath. And then as we release down to the earth. Lift the sit bones up. Inhale, lift the heart halfway. Exhale, step back into downward facing dog. Now you could take child's pose here or stay in dog for a couple of breaths. Or you can flow with me, coming forward to plank. Using your exhale to lower. And the inhale breath to open into your back bend of upward facing dog or cobra. And then we all meet back in downward facing dog, grounding through hands and feet. Lifting the pelvis up off the waist. Take one more breath. And then use your exhale to release your knees down to the mat. So we're going to move in and out of camel pose a couple of times. So let's just start by coming into child's pose and reaching your hands towards your heels. My microphone sounds a little weird when I do this, so I'm not going to do the same as you, but just forehead down on a block or your mat as you reach towards your heels. And then on your next inhale, we rise and reach up to the sky. And exhale, come back into your child's pose, reaching towards your heels once again. Inhale, reach it up. And this time we stay up, but release your hands, taking fists to your low back, elbows back, and kind of just at the top of your pelvis. Your knees are hip width apart here. And think of your heart center like the rising sun. And as you inhale, lengthen your heart up as though it's rising just above the horizon and lifting up to the sky. Keep pressing into the sacrum and in a forward and down action with the fists. Lifting the heart. We're not staying long. Slowly come back to center. And then release the sit bones to the heels. And this might be where you come back to having your block underneath you, which I'm going to do, even though I don't have a block. Coming into Vajrasana. Vajrasana. And just feel that warmth and that energy flowing through your body. We're going to do one more round of camel. So on your next inhale, let's come up on the knees, come off of your block or off of your heels. Let's do that same variation of fist. It's kind of in the low back area, elbows back, shoulders back, heart lifted, and then imagine your heart is that sun just poking above the horizon as you lift, lift, lift through the heart and come into your camel pose variation today. Take one more breath here. And then slowly coming back to center, releasing down to your block or down to your heels. And again, just sit with the sensations of the energy. Become aware of the energy flow through your body. Take one more breath here, and then you can release into your variation of child's pose. Actually, take extended child's pose with arms out in front of you. And then lift your head up. We're going to walk our hands over to the left to come into a side bend of child's pose. Release your head back down. And then inhale, come back to center. Walk the hands over to the right. Let your head come back down. And then inhale, come back to center. Rise up on your knees and come to a seat for some alternate nostril breath. We want to start our day with a balanced mind. Excuse me. An alternate nostril breath is a great way to create that within the body, the energy, and within the mind. So index finger and middle finger down, ring finger and thumb just at that place where the cartilage ends on the nose and turns into the soft tissue of the nostril. And we'll start by inhaling through the right. You can have eyes open or closed and imagining that rising sun horizon. And as you inhale, follow the breath all the way from the earth up through the right side of the body to the center of your forehead, taking the gentlest pause there, and then switching to exhale out the left. Follow the breath from the center of the forehead all the way down the left side of the body into the earth. And now let's continue that as we inhale left from earth up to the center of the forehead, pausing, and then a gentle switch to exhale from the center of the forehead down the right side of the body into the earth. Let's continue like that for 3 more rounds. Inhaling right from earth to forehead, pausing, and exhaling left from forehead to earth. Inhale left side body to the center of the forehead. Pause and exhale the entire right side of the body all the way down to the earth. Inhaling right side body. And exhaling left all the way down to the earth. Inhaling left. Exhaling right. And last round on your own. And as you complete your exhale on the right nostril, the right side body, release both hands down, eyes closed. And just notice your inner light awakened, feeling balanced and light and alive as you prepare to start your day or move into the meditation, which is part of your practice this week. Namaste, and have an amazing day.